At the outset, I'd be remiss not to address the thick-ankled elephant in the room. Fury Road? Feminist propaganda? Sorry folks, I just don't see it. I mean, sure, if I squint my eyes real hard and I overanalyze to oblivion, I'm sure I could pinch out a pedantic 25-minute video essay on the subject, but mostly, it's just another broad in a Mad Max flick. She ain't the first. Fuck, she's like the fourth! Max's wife soaked up shitloads of screen time in the first film, Headband Broad was dropping bitches back to front in The Road Warrior, and even those who strive to get beyond Thunderdome remember Tina Titty fucking Turner! Yeah, there's some less than subtle Eustachian symbology with Max escorting what amounts to a group of walking fucking wombs across the desert, but it could have been a fuck of a lot worse, folks. Consider for a beat that Fury Road, the only Mad Max film to feature rape as a central plot point, also happens to be the only film in the franchise to even acknowledge the possibility of consensual fucking, which isn't to say it's a sausage fest either, but that's less down to the writers than down to Hardy himself. I'm not saying Tom Hardy melts into the background, but at one point he is literally reduced to a footrest for a fucking sniper rifle, and guess who's rocking the rifle? With that said, the flick still has more problems than P. Diddy's algebra textbook. Doubt me, do you?
Those that doubt me, suck cock by choice.
Are you hurt? You're bleeding.
That's not his blood.
Case in point, we open the ass-fucking film with a wide shot of not Max perched stoically beside an interceptor that was blown to bullshit 2 films and a goddamn game ago. Well, we're off to a roaring start. But not to worry, this is all explained to an audience that's too young to give a fuck in a comic nobody fucking read. You see, the boundlessly logical expository cure-all for this flagrant fan service fuck you, and just brace for this, folks, is that he rebuilt it. You know, out of parts of all the other last ever interceptors on planet Earth. Fuck you! Fuck you, George Miller! Fuck you and your fat fucking face hole! Fortunately, like the rest of the cornucopia of incongruities that is this film, the audience isn't left to ponder it at length as we're almost immediately searing the fuck off in what will doubtless be a spectacular car chase of 5 entire fucking seconds. And loath as I am to do so, I must now retire the Wheel of Zeal in favor of the far more utilitarian Tom Hardy Wheel of Accents. Wheel of Accents, spin and whirl. Which accent will make us hurl? Oh, we're terribly sorry. You've landed on Cockney Retard.
I am the one who runs from both the living and the dead. Hunted by scavengers, haunted by those I could not protect.
Fuck you, fucking ordinary cunt. You're just fucking ordinary. And that goes for the talent too, it's ordinary.
They haul the Treebeard-looking twink on back to the blood bag factory where they tune up the tattoo gun and prepare to turn him into every obnoxious millennial the last 10 titty fucking years. But before they can mount the man bun, Max goes full fucking Max. Breaking his bonds, he skitter fucks away from the ghost of a dead broad you couldn't possibly know the significance of unless you played this dollop of disappointment. He ducks, he weaves, deftly evading the cue ball cabal and their mutant power of obviously sped up film stock. It appears Max has his gonads to the proverbial granite, but lo! Materializing on the certainly not CGI horizon, prostrate thyself and give thanks to the green screen gods, for they have bequeathed to thee a pointless fucking pulley system. Gosh, if only there was some kind of omnipresent film cliche we were tired as tits of 9 fucking years ago you could employ to nonsensically mollify your current predicament. Fire up Freebird, motherfucker! He's cleared the conflagration, free to find his 5 o'clock shadowed fortune in the rolling hills of go. Love the film, hate the film, and believe me, it has more issues than Cosmo. That is one of the finest filmic title screens in the hallowed halls of Rageaholic cinema. Meanwhile, before, or maybe after, or maybe during the so-called oil wars of the first 3 films, unless of course this is an outright reboot, which we for some reason never fucking specify, there were the Water Wars. a shitty Kevin Costner flick, a shitty Tom Hardy flick. What does a water war look like, you ask? Good question. I'd love to fucking know, because mostly it's just Edgar Winter in eyeshadow and a SARS suit working a water spigot for 7 seconds and capping it off with some cock shit about water conservation.
Do not, my friends, become addicted to water. You will resent its absence.
Don't waste water.
Okay, just one pertinent query. Where in the fuck does that water come from? There's no dam, there's no well. If it's an underground fucking spring, where's the goddamn glacier? This movie is ecology for people who think the Shackleton ice shelf is from IKEA. And wait, even though we established at the outset that the mascara maestro is only preserving the limited supply of water in the most responsible way possible, we're pretending he's the flopping dickhead? Okay, Hollywood, so he's got a rape dungeon. Change his last name to Polanski. You'll be asked to elbow Stan and Ovate in his vacuous ass.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski for the pianist.
Meanwhile, Flat Chest McRobot is making an all-important fuel run to the very same gas town referenced in the 2015 fucking game, and it appears everything's coming up mascara memories until Ben Shapiro remembers they let a woman drive.
Your purchase ain't turned to gas town. She's going off-road into hostile territory.
God damn it, you told me she was half Vietnamese! Waddling on back to his fuck fort for a random snatch census, he discovers to his dismay that the bitch's done had been goddamn ganked.
Where is she taking them?
She didn't take them, they begged her to go!
Bears and rabbits.
Pussy pursuit fucking commenced. What is the Spike Mobiles bear down on the Dyke Mobile? Blood bags, hoe bags, or no bags? Shit's about to get awfully fucking road warrior in here. And though this is the second time in the series we're going to the 18-wheeler well, this still could qualify as a goddamn amazing, but for being forced to grind the action to a screeching halt so we can watch CGI Tonka toys tumble and pirouette through the piss filter festivities every 15 fucking second. Whether you like it, you love it, or want some more of it, I implore you to ponder a slow-mo fucking free edition of Fury Road, and how beyond reducing the runtime by a good quarter of a cunting hour, you might actually feel like you're in the fucking chase rather than a passive popcorn-swilling spectator, though that admittedly gives the audience something in common with Mad fucking Max. Today he's been a roving murder cop, wizened wayfaring post-atomic avenger, and Lawrence of Arabia in a fucking mullet, but nothing, and I mean nothing, can conceivably compare to being strapped to a post and harvested for his blood for a fourth of the fucking film. Oh, I'm sorry, did I mention that post is affixed to the front of the fucking car?
How much more can they take from me? Got my blood, now it's my car!
But I dare you to try giving a shit when bugling the call is a bug-faced fucker in Santa Claus butt flap jammies with a flamethrower affixed to his fucking fretboard. Where were you when Mad Max turned into a goddamn Judas Priest video? But if Max being relegated to a hemoglobin hood ornament seems retarded, the writers evidently agree with you, because by the 5th fucking scene, they change their mind. Why, you ask? Because by the time Skullface Von Tumor Tits catches the fuck up with G.I. Jane, he's got bigger problems than a gaggle of vehicular vaginas.
She thinks she can lose us now! She thinks we're stupid! She thinks she can lose us in the air!
Wind, howl and raise the sands of the desert!
Hey, Hank! Say bye-bye to the neck! Together, we're going in!
Max fights frantically for a dude who just lost 12 pints to an army of Uncle fucking Festers, and when Max springs into action, that can mean just one thing. Obviously sped up footage. But after Powder drives into a CG screensaver, it becomes abundantly clear he's come down with an incurable case of Islam. What neither Moby nor all the virginal vaginas in suicide bomber heaven could have reckoned with is Robotits titanium-plated plot armor. Fortunately for the fuckbag with the blood bag, Big Mother Trucker stopped a scant 70 yards a fucking way. Why the big rig bit the big one a stone's throw from its present location, given that she plowed through a fucking funnel cloud with no difficulty and should by all rights be 15 days into the adjoining goddamn county, is a question best left to brighter minds, like the ones who didn't write this fucking movie. It's at about this point that we learn that the only thing George Miller won't shoot in slow-mo is the one thing he fucking should. Scandinavian swimsuit models. Not to worry, Georgie Porgy, we'll fix the fuck out of that.
Hello, ladies.
And hey look, more sped up fucking fight footage. Who choreographed this shit, Curly? Expert martial artist that Mad Max has never once demonstrated himself to be, he naturally bests the bitch in hand-to-stump combat. But as he peels the fuck out into what would doubtless be a far better fucking film, he fails to reckon with the fact that he's driving a Ford.
Kill switches. I set the sequence myself. This rig goes nowhere without me.
You can get in.
Let's go.
And it's at this point I'd call your attention to the meticulous magnificence of the firearms in this fucking film. The lordly Luger, the majestic Mauser, the resplendent Glock? A fucking Glock? Where'd he nab that little nugget? The post-apocalyptic polymer factory? Where the scrote-skinning fuck did Mad Max lay his paws on a plastic pea shooter that wasn't even manufactured till a year after the second motherfucking movie came out? To say nothing of how aesthetically out of place it is in a world that to this point has given no inkling it possesses firearms technology past the year 1940. Every time Max busts out with his boxy bullshit, I forget which Asylum film I'm watching. Of course, I suppose it fits for the only film in the franchise where Max is dressed like a glorified goddamn Hurt Locker extra. After settling in and riding sawed-off shotgun, Max makes with filing off his fuck mask when suddenly... Alright, spin the fucking thing.
I'll stay out of there.
The fuck even was that? Were those words? Did I fall down? Is this still Australia?
He's a crazy smeg who eats schlanger.
Yeah, definitely Australia. When the fuel pod starts a dragging, Max makes like Mr. Fix-It, but I'm telling all of y'all, it's sabotage.
How you frightened him?
Tie him out! Throw him out! Chuck him out! Spin that wheel!
You got more friends. So, where is this green place?
Oh, Jesus!
We need someone down the back.
I'll go.
No.
Oh, Jesus!
With the war hordes hot on their high heels, Spuriosa, it seems, has a date with a bunch of Jamaican motocross motherfuckers riding two-wheeled motorized bicycular devices I've been assured by WB Interactive do not in fact exist. When Tumor Tits brings up the rear, Max makes a break for it and inadvertently touches off a 5-alarm flame war. Kick the fuck back and enjoy the Molotov massacre. Flambéed to fuck with the proto-predators in buckshot bedecked pursuit, things seem hopeless. Why, if only they had some kind of innately useless grill-lowering device that would be wholly impractical in any situation, but specifically fucking this! Yeah, that's a lot more practical than just, I don't know, dousing it in goddamn liquid, considering it came from a community where the local warlord has water spigots welded to his nipples. And speaking of old smoky eyes, he barrels through DJ Combo Canyon like a prat out of hell. And sure, there's a rock coming up with his favored fuck slave in imminent danger of suffering a limestone lobotomy, but come on! Surely she'll demonstrate some of that legendary reaction time that has turned the female driver into a gleaming exemplar of motor vehicle supremacy.
Watch out!
No!
Move! Move! Watch out!
Well, kiddies, that's why you keep your hands and legs inside the car while seated in the physically impossible bullshit!
I'm not dead. I feel happy. I feel...
That's
After treating Edgar Winter's fuck wench to an asphalt abortion, Max at long last asks the obvious. Just where in the fuck is this film going?
So, where is this green place?
It's a long night's run, heading east.
After blowing a blind guy to bitch bits in the Battle of the Blue Camera Blackest Night, Max takes a break from being mindfucked by flashbacks from better fucking movies to once again make himself the voice of the fucking audience.
How do you know this place even exists?
You know, a couple movies back, I found a flawless verdant waterfall flush with flora and fauna. It's just south of Bartertown. If you want, we can turn around and go...
I was born there.
Why'd you leave?
I didn't. I was taken as a child.
Some effete fagaloon with pancake makeup and a comb-over. Answer to the name of Onesia.
Now that I drive a war rig, this is the best shot I'll ever have.
Because as we've seen by the automotive armory breathing down their buttholes, none of the other cars in the fuckbag fleet could have possibly made it this far. But hearken, friends, what light or yonder douchebag dune breaks could it be? Dare we answer the clarion call of the vaunted green place? Let's see, butt-naked bitches splaying their suntan snatch atop a tower in the middle of the deadly desert. You play Lara Croft all you like, Curiosa. Max ain't motherfucking fooled.
That's bait.
Yeah, the kind that'll get you 10 to 20. Not to be dissuaded, Robot Gams gets out and commences with a desert diplomacy.
My clan was Swaddle Dog.
She's got a nice ass.
Yeah.
This is our Furiosa.
Well shit, with Granny Rags guarding the Great Valley, no doubt Ducky and Littlefoot are fucking thriving. After all, as YouTube clearly shows us, with women in positions of power, plant a single sapling and you'll soon have a thriving motherfucking metropolis.
I can't wait for them to see it.
Say what?
The green place.
But if you came from the west, you passed it.
That creepy place with all the crows.
The soil.
We had to get out.
We had no water, and
The water was filth.
it was poisoned. It was sour.
And then the crows came.
We could...
So wait, Furiosa's master plan was to lead the Muff Brigade to a promised land that was savaged by stilt-walking Dark Crystal characters before the 5 of them were fucking born? A fairy fantasia that not for a single moment was in danger of actually existing? Wow, she really is a feminist. And hey gang, you remember when a gaggle of pants-shitting 8-year-olds had the good sense not to be this butt-fuckingly moronic in Mad Max 3?
There ain't no knowing and there ain't no doing. You slog out there to nothing.
Intellectually outstripped by a 15-year-old boy with a beaver pelt on his balls. Truly, Rageaholics, a gynocentric icon for the ages.
This is your way home.
Back?
Yeah.
I thought you weren't insane anymore.
Well, there you have it, folks. The entire point of this high-contrast CGI fuck of a film was to gallop off to fairy fucking leprechaun land so that once we're confronted with the immutable fact that it in no way exists, we can have the privilege of returning to the beginning of the butt-fucking film. I'd just like to take this opportunity to remind you all that everyone hates Beyond Thunderdome for an identical fucking flaw, while the glorified Chinese fire drill Fury Road was nominated for Film of the fucking Eon at the Academy Awards. Granted, qualifying for consideration alongside Matt Damon on Mars, and a movie where Gatsby gets ass pounded by Winnie the Poop Shoot is like being runner-up in a Korean cock measuring contest.
So smooth.
But really? Really? And say what you will about Thunderdome, where car chase climaxes are concerned, at least it had the originality to swap out the semi for a steam train. Give a fire-spewing Stratocaster to a bunch of piss ants on pogo sticks all you like, it's still the same basic set piece as the Road Warrior.
Here we go, girls.
That's mine.
When Max takes a bump off the big rig and nearly takes a chromium cum shot to the face, he hops to the adjoining hot rod. And really, Mr. Miller, this is the shit Mel was too mottled and decrepit to do? A few fistfights, some crouching hardy hidden acting wire work, and hanging off a fucking car bumper? If his driving record's any indication, I just described the average weekend for Mel motherfucking Gibson. And trying to get the jump on Max with a Mauser? Steelbeak, have you even seen these fucking movies? But when post-apocalyptic Casey Jones makes a feminist fillet out of Furiosa and the big rig barreling back to Bob Marley Gulch, she takes the most sensible course of action imaginable. Climb on a mascara mass murder wagon herself and give him a 15-wheel fucking facelift.
Remember me?
So that's what happened to Nikki Cox. With the bang bus in flames, they flee to a Morton Joe's slatch wagon, but before the Skull Kid can drop a moon on their ass to cover the escape, the Incredible Bulk bounds into action. With the Morton's monuments in ruins, Skull Kid committing green screen seppuku, and the mobile fuckbag fortress fin to explode, as with any climactic event in a 2015 action film, you know what that means. It's time, once again, for everybody to come aboard the slow train! Max returns a motherfucking hero. The peasants rejoice. With a fancy new fembot baroness presiding over them, the womanities proceed to flush the finite water supply out into the desert, doubtless without any unforeseen consequences whatsoever. And as for the Road Warrior, he made a Hollywood comeback a year later anyways, meaning George Miller cast this dumpy dipshit and whirled the wheel of accents for no fucking reason whatsoever. So there you have it, folks. Mad Max Fury Road. About a half hour too fucking long, and which ends right where it begins, with nothing but 15 dozen dead douchebags to fucking show for it. Flawed? Sure. Nonsensical plot? Oh, and goddamn dubitably. But what did I tell you, titwanks, in the first Mad Max review? Fuck you, action movie plots don't need to make sense. I fucking love Mad Max Fury Road. I say that to say this. As punch you in the cock kick-ass as Fury Road fucking is, it is uncut black tar BS that a movie about a wizened old Max riding out schizo flashbacks 5 minutes at a time while eating his own shit in the desert didn't star a grizzled old Mel Gibson because George Miller was too much of a fucking pussy to stand up to his Hollywood handlers and make the movie we deserved to fucking see. Without Mel Gibson, we got a spectacular sequel, particularly with the added texture and starkness of the black and chrome edition, and easily the finest full-on action flick since 2008's Rambo that frankly would have been just as well received and far more representative of its content if it had been named Furiosa Road. With Mel Gibson, we would have gotten all of the above, plus a cinematic metaphor for the redemption of a Hollywood icon. And don't give me that Mel was too old shit. A matter of months previous, he was fist-fighting Stallone in a foot of water for Expendables 3, and he was objectively in the shape of his fucking life. Better than beer-belly bedecked Tom Hardy and his suspiciously well-trimmed pubes, to put a finer point on it. Once again, Fury Road's a great movie, but there's an even better version of it we'll never get to see, and fuck you very much for it, Mr. Miller. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
They were born with the knowledge of the struggle to survive. They were raised learning only ways to stay alive. If you see them coming, baby, better run. Here come the war boys. Well, they look so pretty as they march and drill.
Hey, look, friend, let's just cut the shit. Now, we both know why I was transferred, in which case I'm fucked and nobody wants to work with me. Basically, I'm fucked.
Guess what?
What?
I don't want to work with you.